What up, guys? I'm doing another movie review. This time for Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Men Tell No Tales. Overall entertaining movie. I feel like Javier Bardem was a cool villain, but like every villain has been, the first one was Barbossa, then Davy Jones, the fourth one, Blackbeard, and now, what was his name? Espinoza, the Butcher. The Spaniard. They have pretty cool villains. They have really awesome music by Hans Zimmer. But I don't know. Something was off with Johnny Depp. I guess he's always kind of been like the catalyst of the movies. If I have to say like who he reminds me of, he's like Bugs Bunny, where he's always like a step ahead of everyone. He's always kind of like fucking with everyone. And somehow, like, everything just works out for him. And he's just always on top of everything. But this time, it felt like Johnny Depp was doing an impression of Captain Jack Sparrow instead of actually just being it. Like, it just felt weird, and I don't know. Maybe it was me. So, I don't know. Johnny Depp seemed off to me. And the two characters they introduced, I wanted to get into them, but there was no motivation for them besides like the same. Like I felt like all the other movies have been something Jack wanted to get. He wants the Black Pearl back. He wants to live forever, or he wants not to get killed by Davy Jones. So there's always something that's motivating him. This time, like, he doesn't have a crew. He's like, and spoilers, by the way, like, he's never, like, he doesn't have a crew. He doesn't have a boat. He can't figure out, like, you know what I mean? He's kind of quitting on life. So, like, this movie isn't really motivated by him. It's more motivated by these new characters and what they want. And that's kind of the catalyst for everything that happens. And Captain Jack is just trying to basically save his skin, and he's just kind of going along with it. And that's not how it's. So there's different dynamics to it. One of the cool scenes was seeing him as seeing him pretty much get the mantle passed down to him, and seeing him take down the Spaniards, which you've seen some on the trailers. If you haven't seen the movie, it's like young Johnny Depp. Like Nightmare on Elm Street Johnny Depp, 21 Jump Street Johnny Depp. Overall, though, not as much action as I thought it would be. They got some like cool set pieces and some cool gun like it doesn't have as much action and like that action adventure that the second one had. It didn't really have like that much of like the mysticism of like the Davy Jones curse, or the fourth one of the Fountain of Youth. I mean, it did because it's like, oh, the Trident of Poseidon, but I don't know, like this time they're like looking to the stars, and it's I don't know the story's a little flawed to me, just because when they introduced Captain Barbossa, he's kind of like he's been doing good, but he was always a good captain. He was always a good pirate. But after we left him in the fourth one, he had killed Blackbeard and thus taken over his ship. And with his sword controls basically like this magic ship. And when they come to this one, he doesn't have it. He has the sword, but he doesn't have like the ship or the crew, except for a few guys that we like know from the other movies. So that's kind of weird, where it's like, yo, he has his magic ship and he's not gonna use it. He's like basically just kneeling to the Spaniard. I don't know, and just kind of like trying to broker a deal. But the thing is that they did kind of give Barbossa some heart, kind of like saying like, hey, you've always had this daughter. This is the real treasure you've been looking for. Which that was kind of cool, but I mean, that means he basically had to meet his demise, and unlike a pirate who's like always supposed to be selfish, he kind of takes one for the team and dies at the end. But I mean, he's died before in these movies, so who knows if they'll bring him back. Maybe stay all the way to the end though. Davy Jones is back, so I'm like, so this is like, so it's like they're trying to like keep the franchise going. So one through 3 was like its own little set story. 4 was like a separate story, but I feel like now there's gonna be another trilogy. And they only had cameos, but Elizabeth Swann is back, so Keira Knightley and Orlando Bloom's characters are back, but they both are barely in the movie. That's another thing where it's like Elizabeth Swann in the third one was kind of knighted, like, as like the king of the pirates, but she's not a pirate. She's not out there with the pirates. She's just like in some island waiting for Orlando Bloom's character, which is kind of like, that's not really in her character. And I'm like, I want, because like a lot of times you'd figure like, oh, she's about to show up when, you know, when our characters get in trouble with her ship because she's like a crew leader. She never does. And then like at the end, she's just like in an island in like a dress looking like a housewife. And they're like, what? Like, she went from being like the governor's daughter to a full-blown badass, and then like you just, in a matter of one scene, just stripped that from her, and now she's just like someone waiting on her man. And I was just kind of like, what? That's kind of fucked up. But then again, I guess we'll see, because like you only get to see them share a kiss. You don't really get to hear no dialogue. But another thing is that they broke all the curses when they break Poseidon's thing. So I don't know. It means there's not like, at least it should end with like all like the ghost crews and the dead man crews, and like it technically should mean that there's no like mystical curse things in the sea. So now they could maybe go back to what the first one was, you know. Oh, well, the first one was still, like, you know, cursed, but I feel like these next few, or at least the next one, instead of going bigger and going, like, Ocean Wars, they could just straight up do, like a Sea Commander movie where it's, like, literally the pirates trying to go back into the sunset, and like now that it's a big happy family with Elizabeth Swann and Bill and the new son, and like, you know, and Captain Jack all taken to the seas again, and then, you know, meeting head on with like the English Armada or the Spanish Armada, or I don't know, they could make like scale the movies down and make it more about pirates and the law and government, and not make it more mystical, or double down and, you know, get even crazier. But let's see how this one does, to see if it has sequels. I mean, obviously they're planning for it. That's why they have like a scene at the end. But I don't know. It got mixed reviews. I thought it was entertaining, but it's not like the best of the series. I still think that's the first one. But yeah. So guys, check it out. It's Memorial Day weekend. You can probably check that out, or maybe Baywatch, I don't know. But if you want like an entertaining movie with cool music, some cool set pieces and action, then man, I wanted Javier Bardem to be more like awesome. Like, it's not that he wasn't like a cool villain, but there was something sympathetic about Davy Jones or Barbosa. And this guy, he's basically like a guy whose parents had been killed by pirates, and he just waged war, but the minute he has a chance, he kind of just abandons his crew. So he was just as selfish as the pirates. I don't know. Every kind of captain has kind of had some redeeming quality, and he didn't. So I don't know. I was hoping more for Javier Bardem's villain, but That's probably got a lot to do with like the writing and not really him as an actor. But yeah, guys, thank you for watching. Sorry if I spoiled anything. Yeah, I don't know. I really like the pirate movies. So if they keep going, either they scale it down or double down. That's all you can do. All right, guys. Thank you. Check out our Patreon. Leave a comment or a like and stuff like that. So, thanks.